Okay, I just got back from a walk and I had an idea, so I'm going to work it out live here. I've been thinking that my next steps are to move the remaining build areas, which are the six science factories and uh, the launch complex and the vehicle assembly area. Move all of these up so that they could be reworked so that their inputs of their iron and copper and stone and all of that stuff was on 3/8 trains. I think I made a tactical mistake. Um, there are some of these factories that do require uh, the inputs to be on 3/8 trains. Some of them require quite a lot. And you can tell which ones they are because they have these big old honkin' split it out into 6 belts or 8 belts. But realistically, aside from low density structures, from here on down, rocket control units, flying robot frames, and certainly all of the science areas, uh, they don't. They really only require a 1-4. So instead of building all of them to handle these big 3/8 trains that come every 10 minutes or 20 minutes or hour and a half, how about I put in a transshipping depot? Okay, so let's work out how that works. I'm gonna slot them in here. What they will do is they will request 3/8 trains on the top and package up what they've got and put out 1-4 trains on the bottom. And they will use whatever. I think I may require 2 rows because I'm going to have to do everything these guys want, which is, let's see here, anything that has the infinite trains in it. Stone and brick both, iron and steel, and copper. Well, that's 5 of them. So we've got steel and copper and iron and brick and stone. Is that all I have left to do? That's all I have left to do. If I do that, if I start building these transshipping things, I won't have to move my science labs, and I can keep my nice belts that are steadily moving the science from the science factories out to where they're being consumed. Yay! Let's do that. Well, at least let's try to do that. So 85 of these. It's tempting to put them in here. It really is. And the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking maybe, because that means that we can have the trains that are coming down here could just go right into this guy for transshipping. And we get the 4s coming out the bottom. It also means that if I want, I can refactor any of these guys to use the 1-4s. Although I'm not going to repackage, say, electronic circuits. I'm not going to repackage it down into 1x1. I would just kind of flag it and say, ooh, in this space we spread it out when we didn't need to. Oh no. Although, considering I'm not sure. Electronic circuits may be requiring all of that. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'm going to start with a transshipment station for iron, and I'm going to put it here. I'm going to add a tag so I don't forget what I'm doing. Iron transship. And he is going to have that. And I need to put him in here. So he's going to need to have a request station at the top, which is basically going to suck trains out of these guys. And some kind of logic in the middle. I don't know how I want to balance it quite yet. And then outputs on the bottom. Now, the idea that I had, if I wanted to have a lot of flow through the station, what I really want is these 8 guys. I need 4 belts coming out of each one, and my 1-4 trains have inputs. Potentially any one of these drop stations should be able to go into any one of the other ones. Maybe, I don't know, but that looks like balancing. But if I turn them, let's say I had the 1-4 trains coming in vertically, I could have these 4 belts going 1 belt per loader on the left, and these 4 going 1 belt per loader on the right. And that would be 4 1-4 stations oriented vertically. I'll have to figure out whether I want to do them top to bottom or bottom to top. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. So let's move up into that area, and I'm going to drop a radar here. I might mess with this. If my vertical stations are too big, which I don't think they are, I think these guys prove that the vertical stations can fit adequately. I probably won't be putting them like that, but maybe in from the right and out on the left or something. But still, I think we can fit them in 1 high, but we may be fiddling around down here, so I'll have the radar up above. So this guy gets to be replaced. I need to take out that intersection and put in my T intersection here. So there's our nice clean thing. And because I like getting rid of excess, there. So that really highlights what's going on in there. So let's start with the request station up top. I am requesting iron. Well, we have plenty of stations where we request iron. I could just copy one. No, I'm gonna do it de novo. Hold on. I have a bit of an interruption here. Little kitten decided that she wanted to be held. So, back to this. Yeah, I sent my Spidertron up, and I wasn't sitting in it. So that was kind of useless. See that I've been fiddling around with game speed a bit. Okay. So we get on the Spidertron doing this one-handed because I've got a cat in my lap. And this time I'm on the Spidertron. Ah, now she wants to get down. There you go, cat. Okay. So here we are. Let's go back to speed 1. So first step is to get our request station. And I think, yeah, these are not normal intersections, but we do have this line coming south. Let's take a look at what our line going north looks like. This line still goes south. This line is going north, so I'm going to want to dump my empties out on the horizontal line. Okay, so really we're not very constrained on where we need to be. But let's put it a ways up. If this guy were here, means that I've got my finger on it right there. Yep. Okay, so there's my entry coming into my grand drop station. Now this guy's going to want to dovetail back up to the top. But let's see if we can put our unload station dead center. I think I can bring this down. This is my center line. Which means my station needs to be somewhere where there's 4 cars to the left of that. Let's put it here. And this goes just there. And putting my finger on the back car again. That guy right there. And I like making little rulers, so let's make this a ruler. And snap to grid, because why not? I need to trim 4 off there, so 78, is that right? So this should include 1, yeah, this includes 1 signal and not the other. We trim off the end pieces. This could be a curve, so I'll trim it off. Oh, and that was wrong because I forgot to set relative. There we go. So if we start from here, how about I don't? So we've got 1 parking left. I don't think there's room for another train to the right, or to the left. And we should have a run out area to the right. And anywhere in here we can curl back. I like that. And I'm going to put that there. So the trains that are coming across aren't even going to notice this guy. So my incoming trains will simply wait here until they can join up. So how are our things? This guy is not big enough for a train, so we've got a chain signal going in. So we won't let a train in until it can enter into this parking area. This means this guy can only have 2 train requests outstanding, unless we fold his requests in from below. And we might want to do that. In fact, yes, I'm going to adopt a I'm going to adopt a parking lane area, so this can be clipped to here. There's this guy. This will have to go to a parking area down this way somewhere. It will be oriented like that. Somewhere over here. Boom. To be determined. So this area, this is really going to be interesting. This is a unload station, bulk rail unloader. And I can't just put these down. So I need to cut out 2 and 3 and 2. Oops. 3, 2, 3, 2, and 3. Okay. Snap him to grid. Width is 7 and height is 8. Doesn't really matter. I just want a decent height so I don't, do things vertically by accident. And now we can put in our unloaders. Make sure those line up, and they do. Okay. So because this is a logistics train network, I'm going to want to have a summing junction for my total quantity available, and that's going to go there. And we are going to be requesting things in, so I'm going to want to use my to solution here. So I can leave this guy off and fiddle around with what I'm requesting, turn it on and off while leaving the other one just set. Now this is going to look just like everybody else that is requesting those trains. So let's go find one and steal from it. How about this guy? Okay, so there's my configuration. So when I get down below 320 stacks of whatever I'm going to request something in, I will work on my train limit. I'd like to be able to have 3 trains, so we'll work on the parking to get that set up. So now we have this issue that I want to have these 8 lines going into a train station down here that is doing loading. And I can either come in the top and out the bottom, or in the bottom and out the top. I could go left to right, I could go right to left. These guys are going to be picking up, so their outputs are going to be going downward, and I think, let's see, this guy goes up, but he doesn't go anywhere, so I want my output on the left. The problem is I've got this input, which is going to be coming up through here. I almost want to join my output onto this south-going one over here. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to kill off this entire line all the way down. So when these guys output, they're going to come out and down and join up here. And the reason I want to go a little bit extra squirrely, so I do want enough parking. I need a rollout area, I think. So for each one of these stations, I want an input area and the station and an output area. So this guy has full trains coming down. Hold on, coming down here. And I want to curl it up and in. And there's parking here. You've got empties coming in here, which I will have parking going down, and then parking going up and merge in there. Okay, that works. Which means that this parking over here is starting to shape up like something like that. pick up this whole thing. Oops. How closely can I pack? I can put it here. Now, I think 4 trains parked is going to be good enough. I think let's move this up. Actually, the whole thing can be moved up to match this guy. And I think I even have space enough for one more. Yeah, I've got space enough for even one more parking up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it 6. Just like that. I can grab this whole thing. Okay. So this allows me to have 4 trains parked in parallel. One of these trains can move up into the ready spot, which is just right before this guy, and this guy has his filling, it's actually dropping, and then he gets a space he can roll out into, and he heads on out. Cool. So I'm going to need enough space in here for these belts to go scatter themselves to the wind. I am not sure how much space it's going to be, but I'm thinking at least that 8 and that 8. It could very well be that these are going to require 4 more. So let's assume I have to do this. So our entry line, let's put that about here. So these are 1-4 trains, and I don't need as many per. My intuition is telling me to have extras. Yeah, let's do parking for 8. So nobody leaves here until they can get into there. Okay. And we do the same thing down here. Now these empties are going to be coming along this line. Yeah, that's good enough. Can I just take that and flip it? Okay. So now the question is, where is the... I didn't look to where this needed to be. Let's figure this out. Engine, 1, 2, 3, 4, so this spot here. I think. Gosh, I think that may even allow me, engine 1, 2, 3, 4, that may even allow me to have 2 trains sequentially in each one of those parking spots. That's not bad. And this just needs to come up from down here somewhere. If I turn this around, I might be able to do something fancy. I can't quite bring it in. I can bring it in like that. Yeah, that'll work. And let's get a marker there so we don't try to do anything too weird. So we have 8, 16. So we actually could have a whole bunch of parking here. I do need to divide that down by 4, so really what I've got is 5 requests per station. That'll do. So now my first station needs to come down here somewhere. I am not sure how big that's going to have to be. So if we put it there, let's do something just for sizing. If my loading station is there, that means my mini loaders are there. Oh, I only really have one mini loader on the left and one on the right. Let's put it down low so I've got space for logic. And these guys just dovetail right in. I think I can bring this over even one more. So this guy. Oh, and I need to remember that I also have a straight on through to the last station here. Okay, that'll work. And that means that this guy needs to come over this far. Now this is interesting. I think this means that this guy can just come straight south too. Let's try that. From here down to here, I'm going to grab the whole thing. Haha, did I just inadvertently figure out the spacing that perfectly causes this to tile, or what? Oh. Oh, that's nice. We just have to jog those guys over just that little bit. And look at this, I can move it up. How far down? I think I can go down to here. So let's see, from here. And this guy, I believe, just comes straight down. Oops. Now, because I know that we're occasionally going to have trains that change their mind while they're in parking, I will include a through line here, even though it's not strictly, well, we hope it's not strictly necessary. But this does have to conform to that jog across. There. These obviously are going to be much further down. Now, off to the left, obviously these guys are going to be going in a different direction. Let's give ourselves all of the space we can on our undergrounds, because the tracks are going to go differently. Let's pick up all of this, but I'm only going to keep the belt stuff, not the rest of that. So if I flip it, this will join up like that. I just need to put these in. Hold on. That's not rail gridded. How can that be not be? Oh. Wait a minute. There's 3 in here, not 2. Ah. So these guys over here are off by 1. Oh, fuck. So to make this work, I need to bring these to the right by 3, or these to the left by 2, and these to the right by... I think I can bring these to the left by 2, and these to the right by 1. Okay. So instead of here, they're going to be 1, 2. They're going to be here. And we just need to correct all of this crap. Um, There we go. Yeah, I need to pay more attention on those. Okay, and then these guys get to go one to the right. So that actually works out because now that places our center line truly on center line. And I believe that means that I can copy paste this much. Yep, and that drops it on center line properly. Okay, so now we move our parking area up. Come on, Control X. Now I'm actually going to give myself an extra track rail on these guys just to give a little bit of a gap. So I hate it when my trains are that close. Okay, so there'll be just that little one track segment gap between our trains. I've had problems in the past where my parking areas were so tight that if I deleted the last car in a train and then placed it again, it would fuse the train with the train behind it. So this avoids it. So now we have plenty of parking. We have almost forgot. Let's signal this. Boom. I'm going to just over signal it like crazy. Like that. And now these guys can go away because we know they'll fit. And this is trains coming south. So we design one train station. Come on, Greg. So we need the locomotive plus 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just going to put it right in about, yeah, how about there? We put that guy in there. And this guy is going to be, I put it there. That gives me a little bit of extra. And now we put the other stations in. These are bulk rail loaders. And that's going to be delete those 2. And those 3. So unfortunately I cannot drop bulk rail loaders down on top of the rail. Let's put power poles in because I can't quite see where these are going. So what I want to do is just want to put that down just like that, but I have to delete those 3 before I can do that, and those 2, and those 3, and those 2. And we go pick up the bulk rail loader again, which I still haven't put on my... Right, because when it's 3 wide, they have 2 places they can go, which are off by 1, plus the place where they're supposed to go. Not sure if that's correct or not. I think that's on the correct place. Okay, I think that's right. We put in... So what do we want to do here? Oh, I forgot this one. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. So all of these outputs are hooked up and headed south. So we need to do some math here. So these guys, I want to enable their output when everything is greater than or equal to minus 30. I think I've had problems with copy pasting these before, and they in fact are not getting set properly. I do not know why. Spot check a few of them. Okay, now they're set. So once I get the last of this hooked up, we will have negative average on the bottom green wire. The red wires have quantity locally. So we can now calculate this out. Total is on there. And what I want to do is input is each. We wanted to divide by -8. So this will be the negative of the amount that I want in each bulk rail unloader to balance it. And we'll let each one of these, as noted, output until it's 30 below that level. So if you're above or below that level, if you're above that level or you're not too far below it, will allow you to gate out. Way too far below and will quench you. So this will make sure that we drain these guys in a balanced way. So we'll get whatever coming in on the left here. When that first car is not too low, and here when the second car is not too low. And I am going to be doing a similar thing here. Let's put it at the bottom. I am going to need there's my summing junction for total that are available. This guy will be controlling like that. In fact, what I want to do is do all of this from the power line. I didn't do that up here, and I should. So let's fix that. So when I do this and put this guy completely, if I do it this way, so all of the things connected to the unloaders and loaders are to a power pole, that means I can copy paste everything else and not have to worry about the fact that sometimes my wires don't get clipped up, don't get hooked up right. Okay, so these are mediated. This guy gets quantity locally on red, and the thing is that the green wire isn't going to come down on that side, it's going to come down on the other side. By green wire I mean the wire with the negative average. So snap to grid with height is 7. Every time I do that I end up with one more blueprint sitting in my inventory, which is not what I want. So here, here, here. So we carve out the bulk rail loader and the rail, and now we have this blueprint which picks those guys up. And we want the programming to be the same as this, so I hope this works. And it looks like it did. And our calculation of the negative mean each to each through a divide by -4. And this guy will be a supplier station. Oh, which only needs the one. And I will need to work out his programming in a moment. So I've been, let's set things up here a little more. I've been changing names on a bunch of things so they look like this. I think this is going to be an excuse to use a slightly different convention. So this is going to be iron plate, eight to 4. Now, how do I want to differentiate between, well, I call this iron plate. I will figure out better names later. Just in case I want to have more than one of these. Do I want to do N1? Yeah, let's do N1. So the guys that are currently, well, let's see, this is a provider station. So we want to make it look kind of like these provider stations, but not quite. So we turn him off, copy him over. Provide stack threshold is half of this, so 180. We are no longer on 128. Let's put this on 64. Oh, wait a minute. Let's provide this to anybody that wants to draw a train in from depots 1 or 2, because those are the right size. Okay. Our maximum limit is going to be 4, and maximum train length is 5, and the consist is 1 and 30. Okay, so I could turn this on. He doesn't have anything he is providing yet, but when he gets stuff he's providing, he will go ahead and provide it. So let's see, I said 4. So 8. So we have 2 lanes of this, so there's our 4. And this is all shared, so we could go 5. Let's go 5. And I can copy paste all of that. We need to give these distinct names. So we are not doing anything to filter our we can't turn off loading of the trains, so there's that. So no fancy logic, no balancing about what the train wants versus what we have. It's just, if you send a train here, we are going to dump shit in it. Now all 4 of those plus this guy now need to head out to an output area, and I think I said I was going to put them through a parking area and then send them out down below. I don't think I need to. I just need a 1 train rollout area. So let's make our 1 train rollout the same size as this. And I can probably just make this a nice same old here. I'm just going to put all the signals in parallel. So once we have loaded up a train, they've got their 1 area of rollout, and then we're going to collect them all up and send them back out somewhere. These eventually need to go south. I have this nice convenient thing here. I could just send them out here. Yeah, and let's see, my correct signaling. That was close. I can just grab that like that. There. So there's our output. We just need all 5 of these lines to come to that output somehow. Well, if I curve them all off to the right, like that, haha, talk about coincidence. I'm not even going to pretend that was totally planned. Okay, so there we go. I need enough space for a 1-4 train on all of these. In fact, let's hold in my parking area until there's rollout space. And the rollout's just going to be all chain signaled up in here. Now this guy, I'm going to put a regular signal on. Just need to have enough space for 1, 2, 3, 4 plus him. And yeah, that's good enough. So we've got a one area rollout, and then we've got a roll through to here, which feeds back down to southbound here, and I like that. Now, in reality, none of these actually need to be chain signals. In fact, if I make them regular instead of chain, if I make them regular instead of chain, then the trains that are coming out are going to be as tightly packed as possible. And they'll be prioritized in whatever they first get their noses out there. But they will be front to back, front to back, front to back as much as possible. We do need chains down here, though. That's proper. So with that in place, I think I can turn on my request and see what happens. So our consist is, this is normal. We are allowing up to 2 trains in here. Oh, I was going to set that up for more. We are allowing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trains. So this, okay. So somewhere we have max set up twice. It is likely that wherever I copied that from, and I don't remember where I copied it from, if we ended up in a bad situation, we might have many, many trains being routed to that station, more than it's got parking for. Maybe sometime I'll go review all of my trains and all of their parking requirements. So now, what's my normal request for this kind of a train? Let's take a look. Who requires a real buttload of this stuff? Here. So he's looking for minus 64K and 320. Oh, I know who my big guy is. Low density structures I most recently worked on, because he needs like more copper than the world has in hand. So he's at 320 minus 128K. I'll use that. So threshold 320 stacks, and we want iron plate minus 128000. And we turn it on, and somebody needs to send us iron. There we go. We have a train. We should have more than one train. I don't know where our capacity is here, but it's huge. Does it tell us? 300. Okay, so it's 320 stacks in each one. So my 320 threshold is kind of wonky. I am going to say request when I have not 320 stacks, but when I have less than 100,000, and keep me topped up to 200,000. Let's see what that gets me. Oh, alerting. There we go. I've got 4 trains coming. That's what I wanted to see. So each train is coming across with 32K. And see, there's our balancing coming through. So apparently we are not loading over here, because these mini loaders are not... Oh, good lord. Enable, disable, everything greater than minus 30. We've got 0. Our output signal is minus 183. Oh, this is supposed to be less than or equal to positive 30. There we go. And now I grab that whole thing, and I'm going to not try to snap down the bulk rail loaders, because that doesn't work. I think that... There. Everybody should be loading now. Now that is a river of iron. Isn't it beautiful? Look at how fast that's loading up. So what happens when one of these guys drains? He'll drain down, and he'll start drawing, and his source will be cut off until the other one's drained down. So what's going to happen is we will end up balancing here by which trains we get in order to balance across the wagons. And that's good, because we're only going to be set trains for the iron that we have available. So our provide stack threshold is going to be a full train of iron ore, which is 100 plates times 10, there's 1,000 per row, which is 4,000 per cargo wagon, which is 16,000 per train. So our threshold for providing is, I'll say 20,000. Now we were seeing 32K. We're seeing 32K ore on these trains up here. Right? Is that right? Pretty sure that's what it was. So 16K per train down here. So we are providing when we have 20K. So when we have 20K, we will allow trains to be sent to us. And we can hold a shit ton more. So we will continue to be packing in the iron until these guys actually fill up. Now this guy, we're getting 32K per train coming in. I think 200K is over. So 32K. Yeah, let's use the 128K that we were using for copper. Which means our threshold here is going to be request went under 160. No, 128K, so 64K. Not really 64K, 64,000. So we're just going to keep getting back-to-back trains here until we get ourselves up to our required value. Well, what does our power look like? Now I started working on power at one point, and I need to, start building more, because at some point we are going to start running low. We have about 10 gigawatts of production available, and our factory is sitting at a steady state of about 4. That's going to change pretty quickly. I suspect at this point that I have drained my backlog available iron plates. This transshipping station is basically really, really super hungry. I need to do one of these for steel, and I need to do one of these for copper. I need one to do for stone and one for brick. But I think it works. Before we call it a recording, I am going to go change somebody that uses a lot of iron to request it in. Who do we want to do? Somebody that I haven't moved yet. You know what? It doesn't really matter who I do. So let's start off automation science. So we're going to go back to the simplest possible science, and I'm going to have him request 1-4 trains, and he's going to use which depot is closer for him. Let's use depot number 1. I previously assured that we have plenty of trains in depot 1 and 2. I could put a 3 on there and leave it up to LTN. LTN will probably pick based on who has more, or it might be picking based on who's oldest. I don't know. Now let's use 1. I think transship is the wrong thing. I'm thinking call that iron wholesale. So this guy is going to become a normal LTN requester station. Let's pick one up. Do I have one handy? I don't want to use the steel. I really don't. Let's pick this station up and repurpose it. Pick him up. Make sure that the train stop name is not being captured. I'm going to turn off this requester here so he doesn't automatically pick things up for me. And I'm going to place him down. Actually, let's hold him in the copy buffer. There. Okay, so now he's got his name, which I am now going to fix. No, that is fixed. That's right, I went around, I set everybody to the new names. And he is set to request at 5K. And from ID, let's put him on ID 1. And he's got a train limit of 3. How am I doing here? I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's good. Consist is 130. Maximum of 5 cars. That's perfect. So now we go out here, and I am going to request in iron plate. And this is 16,000 per train, so I'm going to want to request in 30,000. And I'm going to change my threshold to 15,000. I don't know what the best way to orient these are. I guess like that. And make that minus 30,000. So he's actually a request. And voila. So he is going to be going to repack out 1A. Yay! He's using my repack station. And then he's going to come down here and drop off, and he's going to be doing 16K. And there's another train behind him. Probably, I don't know what the other train is doing. Okay, and there's our fill rate. That looks really good. I love those nice rapid fill rates we get from those bulk loaders. And he makes his way out of our queue and doglegs back over to a nice vertical that he can run down, and boom. So I like the idea of these transshipping spots, these stores, these buffer areas. Um, I may make more use of them in the next factory. The idea is you have something where you can request a whole lot of stuff that's coming from far away, keep a lot of trains juggling there, and then you provide smaller train service to local things. Okay, and there's my unloading. And why? Okay, one inserter unloading is not that fast, but we don't require a lot of throughput for this guy. However, I do need to be aware that I can only put, well, that's 16K. I can't put 20K in there, so this request needs to be for, I'm going to do 15K from now on, and a threshold of 5. Yeah. I didn't do enough buffering here to have decent sized requests. So if I was getting sent a second train, I would need to drain it. Okay, so that was an hour and a quarter to set up the store area, the wholesaler, and to convert one guy over. I think I'm going to do the other wholesalers, the other stores, whatever you want to call them, not on video, because it's just going to be copy paste this and then start editing these. So I think on my next video we're going to have all of this guys being fed from 1-4 trains for these 5 items that are currently on 3/8. So that may be tomorrow or the day after. This is going to be a chunk of work. I'll probably be able to copy paste a great deal of it, and if so, we'll have a video sooner. Otherwise, I'm going to call it for now, and we're going to be big changes when we come back. Stay tuned.